like 7, the vibes alive. Inner circles here, where voices thrive. Turn on your screens, let the magic unfold. Listening and healing as stories are told. Come on, come on, this is your time. No topics too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. In a circle podcast where hearts unite. Sharing our truths, bringing hope to the light. Community strong, we're never alone. Together as one, we've created a home. With laughter and love, we break down the walls. No topics too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the...
Good evening, our wonderful people, and welcome to another edition, the business edition of the Inner Circle podcast. Today is Wednesday, July 2nd. Man, the summer is flying. July 2nd already. Tonight topic is business and freedom, immigrants driving the economy. We're going to be diving into this. My co-host Miss B and myself going to be having some great discussions. So welcome to the week of fireworks. You know, fireworks going on all over. July 4th is Friday, barbecue, and everything else you can think about. Independence Day and all the good stuff. But before we jump into things, folks, there is a growing platform. You can follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, Twitter, LinkedIn, everywhere. We are everywhere. So please, join the movement. Miss B, welcome to the show.
Good evening, everyone. It's Monday. It's Money Wednesday. It's your girl, Miss B, and I always mind the business that pays me.
That's great. Man, though, before we get into the business segment, what do you think of the news of today? I know we have discussed that so many times here, right? It's like, the Diddy trial, it ended today. It seems to be like a mixed bag. I would be remiss not to bring that up, right? Because it's a huge news in our community, in the hip hop community. In the black community. As I said, I've said it here many times, that dude was one of the icon, right? The icon, he got caught up in some, I don't know, I don't even know how to describe it. What do you make of the verdict today for P. Diddy?
The tea, Abraham, the tea. The tea was so hot that my husband called me. He's like,
Yeah,
and he normally don't concern himself with these things, but he's
yeah.
like, baby, the tea just dropped on the radio for me today. I said, what are you talking about, the Diddy trial? He's like,
Mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I brought my water, friends. I brought my water this evening because I knew my co-host here, Abraham, was gonna be getting into this tea, and I needed to wet my throat a little bit before we digest it, right, and
Yeah.
run out of breath digesting it. But where do we start? Like, we all knew there were some political things behind this, right? So let's talk
Hmm.
about all the theories, the conspiracy theories, right?
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
Ciroc
Yeah.
deal,
Yeah.
and folks didn't want him to get what he got, and Ciroc is putting it to him, and so when they found all these people, but I think the real theory that people missed out on was the fact that, okay, I'm Cassie. I
Hmm.
come to you and I warn you. I said, before I go and file this case, pay me. And so you decided you're not going to pay me. I
Okay.
file the case. So once I file the case, even though I take it back, this is already out there now in the public. The
Okay.
courts have this. And I think that's where this all stems from. The fact that he allowed Cassie to be able to file this case. It became public, and going back and having her sign an NDA and giving her hush money, gag money, it was too late. Like, once something has come to light, you can't put it back in the dark.
But in his defense, though, right, is like it seems like an extortion because when you look at the whole trial, right, it seems like okay, Cassie coming to you with such a thing, as it says like P Diddy. If you follow the trial, right, it's like I mean, he thought he was so powerful. At one point, he think he was a king, right, he's above the law, and Cassie coming to him, hey, trying to rub him down, right? Trying to shake him down. That's what he thought, right? But obviously, I think he miscalculated. When it comes to that, he miscalculated. But what could have stopped her though, even if he was going to settle her then, that she wasn't going to still come out and fight it because okay, I mean, she came out, right? He still settled her, you know and then is like she ended up testifying. She was the lead. I mean, is that she ended up testifying against him. So what could have stopped her? Either way, what could have stopped her from doing whatever?
Technically, she was quiet about it, right? After she had got settled, she didn't know the state was going to pick it up. And that's what happens because so many in the Me Too movement is a reason why now the state just automatically picks up the case for the victim on behalf of the victim.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what has happened. She did not know the state was going to pick this up. And so there were things that were signed when she took that deal with Diddy. At first, we didn't know anything. We were guessing who this person could be.
Mm-hmm.
We were guessing. And then when we finally figured, we figured it was Cassie. Mind you, Cassie didn't do any interviews. She didn't give us a yes or a no. And we all were like, okay, this is the amount of money she got. And then what happens is I don't know what documents she had to have signed. I believe there's an NDA, but even NDAs, they have a clause. And so somewhere in there, if you don't make sure your NDA has the right language, it probably left room for her to testify on behalf of the prosecutors. And mind you, now no one is above prosecutors testifying. I think we think sometimes there's that client lawyer privilege. As the only people I can think of is doctors, lawyers, and the Pope, like people,
Mm-hmm.
clergy, people of clergy.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, there are ways in which they can testify anonymously. They can do it outside of the actual courtroom, with outside of not being in front of jurors. They can mask themselves. They can be a voice, and that will be held based on that type of privilege that they have to keep stuff private. But technically, nobody can really testify in the court of law.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, right? The trial came, 2 weeks. I mean, it's 2 weeks. I mean, it was a lot of stuff, a lot of juicy. I mean, 2 months actually, because it started in May. A lot of juicy stuff came out. Yeah, a lot of juicy stuff came out. But in the day, it's like I said, okay, you only going to find him guilty on prostitution? Really, really? Come on. So what was the point? What was the point of the charges anyway? I mean,
the point is we
what was
know
the
that
fair
Puffy's a
thinking?
hoe.
I mean, yeah. What was the fair thinking? I mean, what was the fair thinking to bring those charges against him when they knew very? I mean, it's like I don't think that. I mean, they thought they had him, but what was the point of trying to go through all that? The only thing I think it damaged him in a way that gosh, everyone I can never ever allow my little girls anywhere around that dude because he's little girls or boys anywhere around that dude because he's a fucking creep, and things like that. But it's like, what's the point of the charges when he's only getting? I mean, he's only getting guilty on prostitution, man. Prostitution, hey man, is like every rich person in this country, in the world. That's I think they are all doing that stuff. We don't know about it, but they are all doing that stuff.
So the thing here is that they try to stick anything. So they didn't leave anything out off the table as far as charges. There's 5 different charges. He was found guilty on 2 of the charges, right? And again, those other charges were really hard to prove. In order to show trafficking or RICO charges happening, you have to show an exact exchange for money and this person, right? And these people. And until you can have other customers come forward and admit that, yes, I gave some money to Puffy. He made some women available for me for some sexual activities. Then you can't prove the RICO and the trafficking charges. That's why those other charges were so hard to prove. Most of the testimony that you will find will show people who, to some extent, was providing consensual agreement
Yep. Hmm.
to, you know, the entanglement of multiple people.
Yep.
That's basically what we heard today. I believe that as much as you want to stick it to somebody like Diddy, right? He has too many, you know, affluent, like very famous people who could have been included in this case. I am sure, without a doubt, there are some more wealthier, more powerful men who were involved in these freak offs. I've been saying it for day one. I'll keep on to say it because I don't know if people realize it, but it was mentioned in one of the articles I read when the case first started that people went to the judge and had gag orders filed. And what are gag orders? Those are things to silence the person from speaking your name. Even if you don't get charged, just the fact that your name is caught involved in a criminal case does not look well.
Yeah.
And so there were folks who paid money or had lawyers file gag orders, submitted them to the judge and say, hey, you will not call my client's name in this case. My client will not be named unless you have a specific victim that is pressing charges on my client. And so that's the why that he
Yeah.
was able to get away.
I think the well, I mean, I think number one, the charges shouldn't have been brought, right? Is like because I believe, I mean, if you, I mean, the entertainment industry, I've said this many times. So you said this a couple of times every time we discuss it. Daily stuff, the entertainment industry is dirty. Most of them are doing that stuff. Rich
Yeah.
people in this country with their private jets, they are doing so many stuff. Who knows? Okay. So what Diddy was doing, right? As I said, I won't allow any of my relative around him because damn, I mean, he's a lunatic, for doing all those stuff. I mean, doing that stuff for days, right? Is that doing that kind of stuff for days?
Exactly.
Drugs, is like, come on, man. It's like, what are you thinking? But hey, money and power can make people do dumb stuff, and things like that. So those are the things he was doing. But I think that all of the conspiracy theories, right, that came about when this whole thing first started, you kind of a believer now. You say, okay, if you're going to charge him, at the end of the day, he's only going to be found guilty of prostitution. Then there's something bigger at play here. There's something
Yes.
bigger at play here. It's
Yes.
like you just want to, man. He's like this dude. Maybe he was up to something, so got to bring him down. And to me, that's for like. I'm the one that if you know me very well, right? I don't like to play the race card, you know what I mean, and things like that. That's not my area. But it seems like, okay, if this was a Caucasian person, were they ever going to even be charged or something?
Wow, you heard it
No,
first here on Inner Circle.
no. I'm just because hey,
He
here's the thing,
pulled
though.
the race card. He pulled
No,
it.
I did because let me say this, right. Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, right? It was one of those Super Bowls. They were going to the Super Bowl, right? The day of the Super Bowl. That dude was at a Miami massage parlor, doing his thing. And then he got raided. After whatever happens, you never hear about that thing anymore. It just died like a natural death. What happened?
The Abercrombie and Fitch guy who
You know,
blatantly trafficked male models. We're not hearing anything about that, right? So you're right.
What happened?
You're right.
What happened to that? I mean, what happened to that whole trial?
We're not hearing anything about that. Most
You know,
oftentimes they're made to step down from the organization
it's
quickly.
like
These people have good PR teams because this is not their first rodeo. And for Puffy, unfortunately, you only have PR to some extent. You're Black. And I think that's what happens is a lot of these Black men in Hollywood entertainment, they forget they're Black, right? The ones who we don't hear these type of salacious news about, the Denzel, the Morris Chestnuts, the LL Cool J's, and so on and so forth, they don't forget that they're Black. They don't.
okay.
And from interviews from time to time, they'll remind you, like, Hollywood has treated me different. Hollywood has been this thing, but I just thank God that
But
I've
do you-
still been able to do this work. They don't
yeah,
forget.
but I don't think Diddy forgot that he was Black, though, man. I mean, that
He
dude's
did.
this.
He did.
He did. Oh, come on, man.
Diddy was about to be pardoned by Donald Trump. His level of affiliation, acquaintances, associates, it's Pope level. It's Pope level. And that's the thing. The nastier you're willing to be, the more involved in the trenches of, people talk about the Illuminati. We want to name it whatever we want to name it, but there's this upper echelon of rich craziness that you certain people, not everybody has membership into that level,
Oh
right?
yeah,
And so,
yeah.
and Diddy did. Diddy did. I don't know if he still has it, but Diddy did. And so
I I
that's
I think to me, right, yes, my own conspiracy theory. I think out of his white parties or those freakouts, I think he has so much videos, right? That he has so much videos that the way in LA and Miami, I'm so suspicious of it now. I think that it was not just for, I mean, why would you raid someone's house because you charge him for racketeering or prostitution? Really? He's not a drug dealer. You know what I mean? And stuff, but you raided his home, right? Took so many stuff, right? How many? 1,000 baby bottles. And but you didn't tell
baby
us you
lotion.
did a baby oil, but you didn't tell us how many videos were taken. I think he has so much video on so many people that is like,
I'm sure they took that. I'm
yeah, I
sure
mean,
they
yeah.
took that. They found so and so stuff. And I'm sure there's like people are so connected that maybe they even knew about the raid before Diddy knew about the raid. Where you're saying, look, you're about to go in there, you're gonna find something.
Yeah,
Make sure you send it to my people first.
yeah.
Like it does, don't let it land.
And it
That's the level
and
of
destroy it.
yeah,
Get it
and destroy
destroyed.
it.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
level of power some people have.
yeah.
You think about like, okay, the little stuff that does get leaked out, but hey, it happens, right? At one time, Bill Clinton and the Monica Lewinsky case, it just every now and then a big man must fall or his name must be ruined to an extent. But it
I
is
I
what
w-
it is.
I would say though, right? It's sad that, I mean, Diddy have to go down like this, right? I said, not condoning his behavior. He did some bad things, to those folks. I mean, some of the things he's there, right? No normal human being. Obviously, he was doing drugs. No normal human being should do that, and should ever do such a thing. But at the end of the day, I think he meant so much to the black community. Even though you are saying that he abandoned the black community, but he meant so much to the black community. I mean, as I said, it's like if we grew up, if we were here in the '90s, grew up here in the late '90s, early 2000s, Sean John, Bad Boy Record, that dude was everywhere on TV. That his bit is like, folks, if you want to become a young black entrepreneur, you look out to Diddy, to what's his other guy, Jay Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean. You look at the Jay Z, to Diddy, to Fat Farm, right? It's like Russell Simmons. You look up to these guys, right? It's like, damn, man. It's like if they can hit it that big, I think I can do the same thing. And to see him go down like that, and then sometimes like to see so many black business dudes go down like this, it's sad though. I mean, it's sad. So that's my only frustration with him. And then you pull him through all of that, right? Mess him up. At the end of the day, he's found guilty of prostitution. That to me, right, is that you have to make that make sense to me. Come on, man. You should have let the man walk. If you couldn't get him on the bigger one, let him walk. Let him walk.
This man is a billionaire at the end of the day. Let's stop feeling so sorry for him.
No, I'm not
He
sorry
has
for him though.
yeah,
The impact must be the impact it has on our community.
I
The,
agree.
the,
I
both the
agree.
impact, right? That's like Diddy going down to me has a huge impact on the black community. As I said, it's like he was one of the richest black entrepreneur in this country, right? It's
He's
like,
Hope. He was Mr. Hope because of Diddy. Yeah.
yeah,
because
yeah,
because of Diddy, we all have hope that we will amass, great wealth, that will be
yeah,
successful
you know.
as him. Somebody we can say really bootstraps, himself to his wealth, right? He and I don't think all of that has been lost, right? It's not going to be the same, but all of that has not been lost. He probably has gained some new fans, you
Well,
know.
I
Like
hear
I
a lot
said,
of I hear that a
there
lot
were
of influencers. I mean, it's like, I mean, his fans went wild today when the verdict came out and everyone was cheering him on. I said, man, what would you even be cheering such a dude on? I said, no, no,
forget
no.
about that. Imagine
Yeah,
all the women that are still lining up to find out what all the fuss is about.
really? Okay.
Women are crazy. We're crazy. That's why men will never be able to understand women. It's like there are more women probably than before who are now more
Yeah.
willing to
So tell
figure
me more.
out what
Yeah, tell me more about these freakouts. What was it? It's
yes,
like, can I? I mean, can I?
can I participate?
Can I?
You
Can I
know,
be part of it? Can I be
there
part
might
of
be
it?
some bored, wealthy, older women who want to participate. Like, hey, come on, did it? How come I never got invited?
Oh, oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. But anyway, I just wanted to
So
throw that there, right? Because
yeah,
I mean,
there will be no all white party. This will be the first year. There will be no all white party this July
what
4th
was
weekend.
it? Was it last year though?
Yeah, because he didn't get
Arrested
arrested until September.
until
September.
September.
It was after Labor
Yeah.
Day. Everything went before
No,
Diddy got
but
arrested.
the investigation started though back in 2023, wasn't it? You
Really?
know, yeah. I mean, the case. I mean, it's like the rumors. It started in 2023 December. I think November, December, and then the entire summer it just kept dragging on. Little by little, civil lawsuit here, civil lawsuit there. And then the bomb dropped on in September when he got arrested. So
Um,
may- so maybe there was a white, but I don't think he had a white party with everything he had going on last summer.
Google wants us to believe it ended in 2009. I don't want to believe that.
Maybe he took it on the down low because it was too much.
Yeah, because I know we talking like even A Rod and J Lo was at one of his parties. Yeah, it was not that long ago where
Yeah, yeah.
Diddy
I
had a
mean, no,
party.
it's like they say it was every year. Actually, yeah,
It was
it's been every year. Is
since
it was the
1998.
yeah. Wow. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like he's man, he did his thing, but hopefully, I mean, the only thing, right? I feel bad for his kids, as you said here the last time we talked about this, right? His kids had to sit through all that nonsense, right? Hearing everybody at that, man, please don't do that to my kids, right? It's like
that was
hearing
the
everybody
worst
at that,
part.
yeah, hearing
As a
everybody at
father,
that.
and that's one of the things I really truly admire him. Forget about all the other stuff. I'm like, this man has 6 kids. He's very close to his kids, and even adopted. One of them are not biologically his. Quincy is not biologically his. Quincy is the son of Albie Shore, the R&B singer. However, Diddy adopted Quincy, I think, when he was like 2 or 4 years old, from a young age. And you just always, if you never saw Diddy with any woman, you always seen him with his kids. And
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
stuff I admired him about him the most. But to just show you how the human being can be so selfish. Like 2 days he had his girls in the courtroom, and I finally they was like, oh no. And I know the woman in them came out and said, no, wow, we love you, Dad, but we cannot compare to be in this courtroom hearing these things that you've done. And they've all knew Cassie probably as their stepmom and didn't know what was going on. Well, like a stepmother, he never married her.
Hmm.
I didn't know what was going on, the depths of their relationship. That's the part that really hurts me throughout this whole case, right? I mean, it's not me, but I feel like that was not a good call. As a father, I know you want to show your family side and you want to have them in the courtroom, so things would have been, lesser charges, and he got what he wanted. But to
Hmm.
put your girls through that, they can't undo hearing that and seeing Cassie explain all of that happened to them. And back to the Cassie money. Y'all stop. This girl's with this man for 11 years. That's like a marriage. If they had been legally married, she would have got more.
Yeah, but she want. I
Legally
mean, that's
married
why.
with
I
a
mean, but she
prenup,
signed up.
she
She
would have
signed up
got
for
more.
it though. Why will you be with a guy for 11 years without him marrying you?
But
Will
that's what
you?
I'm saying. So she deserves something.
No, no, she don't deserve
Yeah,
anything
she
in my book.
does. She
In my
deserves she
book.
deserves something.
Okay.
She deserves
Oh,
something.
okay.
And the people that
Why
don't
she
believe
waited?
she
Why she
deserves
waited so
something,
long? Okay, why she waited so long, right? I mean, she waited so long. She went and got married. Well, I mean, the dude was telling her, "Oh man, you went through all that." That dude should be traumatized, though, right? Whoever, I mean, is like, I mean, he should be.
that's what a lot of my friends keep saying. Like, what kind of a man is that? Why did
Yeah,
she marry that man? Who lets their wife continue to
yeah, I
tell
mean,
that
I
story?
want to know who that
Yeah,
dude is because he should be traumatized. If anybody do that to my someone called wife and she went through all that, I mean, I don't know I just don't
you're
know.
wondering how does he kiss her, huh? You're wondering how does he kiss her?
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. It's like, and then they have, hey, love,
Cassie's
love,
a
love.
beautiful woman. How do you not kiss her? That man is loving every bit of her.
Forget about
That's
kids.
not.
Everything else about her is that it's just, man. I think Denise is creepy, but she's more creepier, right? Is that she could have gotten out of that stuff long, long time ago, but she stayed there for how many years? I mean, they said they were together for yeah, you said
11
11,
years.
11 years, 11 years. Now one day she left,
Left
right? They
him at either
abused
the age of
the
31 or 32 when she finally left.
the abuse, the physical, the beating, is like the everything, and she never left. And the thing about me, right? You actually like someone bring another dude to you to use you like that, right? It's like it's sad, and she endured all of that. I mean, it's like her husband, man. I feel sorry for him. He should seek. I hope he's in therapy.
No, but we think about what he did to her, and you just got to think about what kind of a human being he is, right? Because he would
Yeah,
parade her on the red carpet. We knew that this was his girlfriend, that this was like wifey. There's a lot of people who be together for a long time and don't get married, and they
yeah.
still walk away with financial benefits from that
Hmm.
relationship, right?
Hmm.
Cassie is not the first one. Be as it may how she got it or when she finally got it, at the end of the day, she got financially compensated by being with him. And not only, I'm not going to say just for the scars, but just the fact that she was with him is why she got, financially compensated. And I'm okay with that. But I'm just thinking, like, how do you say you love me with the same mouth and breath, but then subject me to such inhumane
Yeah,
practices?
yeah, yeah. That's
That's
that's to
sick.
me, right? Yeah,
He
it
is
doesn't make
sick.
sense. It doesn't make sense to me, as I said, right? I think he's not a normal human being, right? With everything that came out during this trial, he's not a normal human being at all. Not, it's like the drugs, the baby oil, putting her through, man. It's like hiring everywhere they went, right? Hiring maid escort just to do that. I mean, come on, dude. It was like, what's wrong with you?
And the male escort was not necessarily for her. Let's not forget that part. This man is a
Okay.
bisexual person.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
He
So he
was having,
so
he was
so he was
involved in
doing it
these
for
acts.
himself. He was doing it for
Yes.
himself, and then he also wanted to see, it's like how it will work on her, right? I mean, he's man. I don't know. It's like it's like he's a terrible, terrible human being, though, right? It's like I'm not a judgment. I'm not here to judge anyone's character, but everything we heard during the trial, man, is like, as you said, how can a normal human being do that? For real, right? It's like, hey, if that's what, as I said, if that's what you like, that's your fantasy, do that, right? Don't subject, someone else's daughter to that. And he did that to so many. Cassie is the one we are hearing about, but so many girls. I think he did that to so many women.
So many women, countless
Yeah,
amount of women for how
you
many
know,
years?
yeah,
We hear about 50 Cent's girlfriend is involved, and you're raising three daughters, three beautiful daughters, and you're raising them in this entertainment industry, right? Like Russell Simmons, now he's dealing with the fact, I think his youngest of
hmm
his two girls that he has with Kamora Lee is dating a man older than him.
hmm
The 21-year-old daughter is dating a man 65 years old.
yeah,
So
okay,
karma comes back around, people.
hmm
Karma is a bitch, right? And so, not that I'm wishing, bad things for his girls, but I'm just like, you have to think that the way in which you treat other people's children, you have children yourself. That's why you have to be mindful of that, right?
hmm
You cannot feel like that is not going to be put back on you some way, shape, or form. And so, yeah, Puffy is sick. He's sick.
yeah. He's not a
He's
normal
sick, and
human
he
being.
needs help. He
Yeah, I
needs
mean,
serious
yeah.
therapy.
I know, I
So,
know, I know, I know he was excited today that he didn't get the serious charges, man, but I think he needs help, whenever he comes out, because I mean the reason why they couldn't even let him out, because I think he's a danger to society, right? He could be under house arrest and still
boy,
be having those freak offs.
hello, the party would have started from day one. Daddy's home. That's what he would have said. Daddy's home.
Yeah,
Make them calls. The
yeah.
party is flowing.
I've
That's
I've had
especially
I've
Miami.
had something said September, so hey, get it, get it going, what I mean, and stuff like that. So,
And
but
because the reality now is like, okay, you all know. So you know what's up. So no
yeah,
pretending.
no,
Yeah,
no,
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 I
no.
don't have to force you. I don't have to drug you anymore. Now it's free fall.
Even if I drug you, right, you know what's up, right? When you come to these freak offs, you know that when you come, drugs are involved, baby oil are involved.
I'm still waiting for the Jay-Z connection. I don't know why. Father God, forgive me. I just don't want to believe it.
Ah, Jay,
I
Jay, I
just
don't
don't want
think
to
Jay,
believe it.
Jay is not that kind of person, though. I think Jay. I don't think Jay is that kind of person. You
So
can be
he just
friends.
went to the
You can be
party.
friends with someone. I can be friends with you and just look the other way. Seriously. I can be friends with you. I said, nah, man. Okay, like you have some friends who smoke, right? You might have some close friends who smoke, but you don't smoke, right? They might be doing some bad stuff, but you don't do it. So I don't think if Jay was, I mean, I could be wrong though, but if Jay was, part of this thing, man,
I
I think I'm
mean,
gonna nail him.
he's a cheater. He has cheated numerous
Yeah,
times.
no problem. Yeah.
One. And then two, he's liked young girls. He started, even if his wife was 18, he started seeing her at 18. There's a 12-year age difference, right? So
Mhm.
between Aaliyah and Beyonce, he had young people around him. Foxy Brown, he had young people around him. A lot of young people around him. We all are saying that he waited till they got of age before if anything ever happened or he didn't mess with them. But I'm just saying the writings are sort of on the wall. So, the
Yeah,
public
I
is
don't think.
waiting.
No, I don't think. I don't think they have tried to get Jay though, right? They have tried so many times, right? There is like they have brought so many lawsuits against him to try to tie him, especially when the Diddy
One
stuff came out.
lawsuit, and then the other one was a child trying to prove paternity. That's it.
Okay.
Which who let somebody go on for 10 years? Just take the damn blood test. Like, really?
Okay. Okay.
Who
But anyway,
lets the
folks.
paternity lawsuit go on? I mean, suit go on for 10 years. That's ridiculous. Wouldn't you
Yeah,
just take the test by now, Abe?
long time. But maybe the reason why he doesn't want to do it, there's a lot of money involved when it comes to these things, right? Maybe he doesn't want to do the child support.
If I know the baby is not mine, I am running to take that test.
Why
Running
if
to take
why
that
if
test.
it becomes why if it becomes yours?
Then you need to take care of your responsibility. That's the whole point. But let's put it to rest.
Okay.
And that's the why people think there's something there, because any normal person you would want to know, you would just want to put it to rest. And maybe his thing is, oh, if I take this test and I find it's not mine, then what would stop other people from coming forward? Anybody at any given time, if they feel Jay-Z is their father, they're going to come and try and get a paternity test done. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
we know
folks.
his genes don't hide anyways. Those
Okay,
looks don't
folks.
hide.
Okay, man. Leave Jay alone, man. I think Jay has nothing to do with that freak off stuff, right? He might be one of those videos, though. Those videos, I can tell you, there's so many folks. The reason why they raided those two homes was to get rid of those, was to destroy those evidence, because
Exactly.
that could have been that could have been a domino effect all over, right? You got to say, oh man,
They
so,
rated them both at the same time too, on the
yes,
same day,
yes,
at the same
same
time.
day. It's like same day. Okay, he didn't. He's not a drug lord, right?
No, this
He's
was worse than Escobar. Like they
why
don't
are you why are you
they
reading
don't
why
raid
are you
our
reading
chapel like this.
why are you reading his Miami homes and his LA home? Why? Really?
They don't raid El Chapo like this. They have never raided Escobar like this. So
Nah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
mean, now we need to find something else to talk about, right? It was fun while we had the Diddy trial
definitely,
to talk
yeah,
about.
I mean the daily
Now
trial
what's
is
next?
over. He was
Tyler
found
Perry
guilty.
stuff sounds very quiet. I think maybe there's a settlement already then.
There's a settlement coming because that was something, if he doesn't settle. I think, it's sad though, right? Since there's nothing against the Me Too movement. Kudos to you guys. I mean, anybody who who engages in abuse should face the consequences.
You are a
But
girl
man,
dad.
since the Me Too movement, man, it's like they just coming after these folks, man. It's like if they come to you first and ask you, can you pay up? As you said in the Cassie case, can you pay up? And if you say, nah, I ain't gonna pay up, say, okay, are you sure? And then some lawyer come, hey, and then they go to a lawyer, oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Let's do it. Boom.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I'm
boom.
taking that case.
Yeah.
Yeah, Diddy's lawyers got paid $15 million. If I'm the prosecutors, I will be pissed. Who's paying them that? The state is not paying them that. But
But
here it is.
but he got. I mean, the one thing though, right? He got. I mean, those are really good lawyers, right? The case, the one thing they said, right? They couldn't defend his character in terms of, right? He was an abusive dude. He was violent to these women, but it did not constitute a crime. They say it was domestic violence, right? That's what they argue. So I think he got good lawyers, and I mean, they save his ass. That's what I can say, right?
Bad for R. Kelly. But you know
Yeah.
what folks were saying was the difference between Diddy and Kelly was that Kelly was a pedophile. I mean,
Yeah.
Kelly is a pedophile.
Mhm.
fortunately for Diddy, all of his victims are of age.
Yeah.
And so I think ultimately that's why the case went the way that it went, right? If there was any underage
Oh
pedophilia like
yeah,
thing,
yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah,
they would have buried him under the jail.
yeah, yeah.
No ifs
But
and buts about
and
it.
then with the R. Kelly thing though, he was already broke. So that but Diddy, I mean Diddy bid on there, right? Bid on there before this whole thing. So he got a lot of bread, so he could afford to pay what 15
15
million,
million. 15 million.
15 million. So hey, but
Yeah.
the Diddy trial ended today, folks. That's what we have been discussing. It's Wednesday, but this is that this thing has been trending all day. It's like everywhere, right? It's like everywhere. There's no way no one is discussing this. So we couldn't come on here and not do justice to Diddy. and I, give- and I, give- and I do and I do,
Seriously.
yeah,
I'm
and
just waiting to hear about the party, the Freedom Party.
oh man,
And I'll
well,
be looking to see who's showing up to that party.
you know, now it's like now. I mean, all eyes are going to be on him. But as you say, he's out in the open now. So free calls might be a normal thing for him. And if you come there, right, it's like you welcome it and things like that. So, but so folks, that's tonight is Wednesday business segment. But man, the Diddy thing has been
That's
like
business. That's business.
I know. I mean, it's like they do. It's a black mogul, right? It's like I said, black entrepreneur. He represented whatever black business person wanted to be. As I will say this again, if we were here in the late 90s, the 2000, there's nowhere you would go. You go to Macy's, Sean John, Ford Farm, Rockaware. These guys were doing that thing. Music video, they were all over music videos. MTV, BET. I think it's like they held down MTV and BET back in those days, right? It's like, damn, it's like the daddies. The I mean, it's like my man 50 Cent came along, but these dudes, I mean, it's like they ready. They put hip hop on the map. They ready put black business on the map. But again, man, it's like they were doing it and they felt like kings, right? Especially Diddy, man, felt like a king, felt untouchable, and he did some bad thing to really good females, right, and things like that. So that's sad.
But what we don't talk about, though, as Wednesdays, is talk about business. We don't talk about the economic impact of taking
Yeah,
Diddy down.
Diddy, it's
Yeah,
huge. It's
and it's
huge.
huge because he's probably a large employer of who? Of black people.
But yeah, definitely.
Right.
Not only
So he's
not
an
only
entity. He's an
not only that,
entity.
not only that, right? It's not only the huge employer of black people, but it's like a trickle down, like economics, right? He's like
Yep.
he gave all the black business, opportunities, right? It's like,
Yep.
look, if you wanted to be an artist, you want to hit Hollywood, Diddy was one of the gateway, right? Just like Tyler Perry, right? One of the gateway to that, right? To the music industry, to even to Hollywood, right? And the fact that I mean he's down to your point, right? Is like, I mean, it just hit
There's
our
other
economic,
people that are impacted. We don't think about that.
yeah, the
Like for
economic
me, when
impact, yeah,
people
the
say
financial impact, the economic
the
impact.
financial impact, like people are literally going to work for this man every day, having a paycheck to be able to take care of their families, right? And
Mhm.
so you can put the person on trial, but when the person represents all these entities, the government needs to be mindful of that, because if Target is going to go out of business or close a store down, there's impacts, right? They have to report that. They
Mhm.
have to report that to the state, right? And then we'll talk about and address those loss of jobs. We'll say Target's closing down a store, there is going to impact 2,000 employees, and there will be unemployment for those folks, right?
Mhm.
But and then there'll be other things that can be put in place, or we find relocate them to different jobs or different stores. We don't talk about the economic impact when a black celebrity like Diddy falls into legal issues, right? I want Diddy to go serve time. I don't want Diddy's entities to be impacted because of the
But
people that he is taking care of, that is surviving off of him.
but normally though, that's what they come for, right? When they're coming for a black business, right? Like a black, someone like Diddy, they're not coming for him. They're coming for his entire empire, right? And that to me, that's sad. To your point, that's sad, right? They shouldn't
Yeah,
do that because it's
they
like,
shouldn't do
y-
that.
yeah, I mean, they shouldn't do that. You are destroying something he worked so hard to build. You should separate the character, right, the
Yeah.
person, from what he has built in terms of his business. And in most cases, right, when it comes to this situation, right, they don't do that. They just come. I think, I read in so many places, right, they were coming directly for his empire,
Yep.
They
Yep.
felt he was done, right? It's like,
Yep.
I mean, they were telling people don't play Diddy music, right? His music, Spotify got rid of all of his music. He was forced to sell his TV station or whatever, or his I think he had a cable, right, network or
Yeah.
whatever. He was forced to sell that, So it's like he was forced to divest some of the things, and the whole thing came about again, right, from that whole conspiracy theory about Ciroc. Whatever
Hmm.
happened with him and Ciroc, right? Because it's like that,
Exactly.
yeah, it's like that Ciroc vodka, he was Ciroc. Everywhere, Diddy, Ciroc, Super Bowl, all of those commercials where he was doing for Ciroc. Whatever happened there, I think, they came
And
directly
that
for the empire.
exactly. And then like back to the Abercrombie and Fish guy. Abercrombie and Fish is not experiencing anything. They just let those see. So like when white moguls have these type of legal issues come about, they make them to resign, to
It's
relinquish
separate.
them
It's
from the
separated from the
entity.
business. Yeah, yeah,
They do. They make them to resign and separate them from the business, right? And they still allow them to keep their shares. Still
oh
allow
yeah,
them to keep their stock and their shares, right, in the business. They don't have to sell off stocks or do anything like that. But when it's a black mogul, it's totally different. And so that's the part I don't like about any of this. Like people say, oh, don't listen to R. Kelly music. You don't listen to R. Kelly music, you're not impacting just R. Kelly. You're impacting the people that are surviving off of R. Kelly. We don't think about the families. Yes, I want his kids to still be doing well. Why should Diddy's kids not be able to have income to continue to live the lifestyle that their dad has created for them? And then people say, well, he should have thought about all of that before he did the
nah,
things that he did. No, it's not that simple, people. And that is unfair. You
yeah,
cannot say, oh, he should have thought about all of that. No, those are two separate things. Him being a father, him building these companies that are taking care of our black community, that are taking care of these black kids who will become future moguls themselves, is two separate things from him being this monster, and
yeah.
therefore they need to be separated. But we'll see what's to come. I know he's not
Well,
broke.
no, he's not broke though. But as I said, they came after the empire. I think he's not broke, but they came after it hard, and things like that. And so it's like at some point when he got arrested, he wanted to even like put the two houses up for what? I mean, they
For
even
sale.
denied that. Yeah, they even denied that. Right, his two expensive houses, his Miami mansion and his LA
New York
mansion.
mansion. Yeah, LA
Oh yeah,
mansion. Yeah.
yeah, the LA mansion and things like that. So it's like they do come after it, and that's the sad part. They should have just separated, right? Because he had people running those things for him. So I just say,
Yeah.
hey man, separate the crime from the man, right?
The
From his
employees,
from the
the maid, the
empires and stuff like
driver,
that. Yeah, yeah.
all those people are taking care of their families, right? And so,
Mhm.
but the LA mansion is on sale, $61 million. Celebrities, stop paying so much for these homes. 36,000 square feet of home. What are y'all doing with that?
Well,
You guys
they,
are
I mean,
occupying land that could be used to
they
build
they
for other
they
people.
pay for they pay cash for them, right? But then it's a
No, they
taxes for
don't.
me.
That's the mistake y'all make. They don't pay cash for nothing.
Okay, debt,
They don't
debt
pay. They
finance,
all have
debt
loans. Everybody has loans around here. Nobody pays cash for
and
anything.
debt financing is even better, right? Because it's like you
Yeah.
use that to to not pay taxes actually and things like that. So, but man, Diddy
And
is
they can gladly file bankruptcy. Our president has done it so well. They can gladly file bankruptcy because to them it's like, okay, I don't want to pay for this anymore. I'm still gonna
leave
have other things. Yeah, it don't impact. I don't even think it impacts their credit, to be
leave
honest.
leave politics out of the leave my man alone. Okay, we're talking we're talking Diddy and the destruction of black wealth. Generational wealth that they come. The prosecutors be coming after, right? They coming after.
Seriously.
Yeah, they come after generational wealth. That man, look, he's a bad dude. He's a monster. To quote your word, right? He's a monster. He shouldn't. He deserved to be in jail, right? He deserved to be taken away. But he worked hard for his business. He's a hustler, though. He's a
Yeah.
hustler. You
Yeah.
know, you know what I mean and stuff. And
I'll
that should
give
not
him
be
that. He
destroyed.
is.
Yeah,
He's
that
a
should not be
legitimate
destroyed.
businessman.
That should not be taken away. That dude did so much for like even the MTVs, right? The BET. He did so much for the music industry.
For fashion.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
I,
he
I
made
mean,
things cool that wasn't cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah. He's done a
Sean
lot.
John, Sean John was back in the day. Maybe didn't wear Sean John go to a party. It'd be like, your friends be looking at you, right? It's like, what's going on with you? You know what I mean? And things like that. So Sean John, Fat Farm, Rockaway. whatever happened to those brands, man, I don't know how come they let them go, but whatever happened to those brands, sad, right? That's like everyone wanted to wear them back in the days, right? So it's like
Because
they
you
did a
build
lot.
companies to sell them. That's just the reality. Your African immigrant people don't know that. You build businesses to sell them. That's how the wealthy becomes
But when they
wealthier.
sell them though, right, they go away from the community, right? I think that represented that because I think they sold them to I think Sean John sold it to I mean whatever company, right? But they never continued that stuff. They
No,
just
and that's where you want to be mindful. And I think that's where white wealth has that privilege to decide who they're going to sell it to and what it looks like after they've sold their business. Those are some of the privileges, and it's for them. It's not always just about how much money they're going to make off the sale, right? You can decide. Like Tommy Hilfiger, he sold Tommy Hilfiger, but he still remained the CEO. He's still the
or the
CEO of his
designer, right? Yeah, or the
yeah.
designer, right? He's still doing that. Why Sean John or Fat Farm or
And
Rockaway,
and
they
this
couldn't
is
I mean they couldn't do that.
we're not as educated. This is new money, right? Black
Mm,
wealth, the current black wealth is very new. And
mm.
that's why sometimes I say they don't realize to get the education that they're really supposed to be getting, right? They're looking at they're happy to be acquiring the superficial things. Now I can buy jewelry, I can buy cars, and we still invest in things that are not that loses appreciation, right?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
we're not fully educating ourselves on how we're really building these empires for generations to come, right? And where we're making those investments and how you even sell a business matters. The way Warren Buffett's going to sell stuff is going to matter to him. The way Jeff Bezos is going to sell some of his assets is going to matter to him, right? It's going to matter who he's selling it to and what they're going to do with this thing that he has helped to build to the place that is. We have not been that intentional. Like Rihanna, if you don't want Fenty anymore, there are other black beauty supply companies. Sell it to them, right? Why everybody wants to sell their brand to LVMH? I think LVMH is it's probably like a Middle Eastern owned
No, no,
um
European only.
European, okay. It's a
Hmm.
foreign owned entity, right?
Hmm.
And so everybody wants to become a billionaire. LVMH will pay $1 billion for something because, gosh, they're worth how many billions? But we don't educate ourselves on the importance of, okay, Rihanna, if I'm going to sell my black beauty brand, let me find black investors to sell it to. Let me not just want to sell it because there's a lot of black investors that would have paid her the money that LVMH paid her for it.
And
There
then the
are.
other thing too, yeah, the other thing too, to your point, right? She could have still been the creative brain or the creative mind behind it. The problem is when they sell these things to the LVMH or wherever to to these investors, they go away from it, right? They are not a creative mind anymore. They don't have anything to do with it. And then once they are not associated with it, it
It
dies.
loses quality. It
Well,
does.
hey, the company
Like
that buys you say, hey, I mean, I bought this thing from you because I wanted to make any money out of it, but it's not bringing me any value. There's no return on investment. So hey, I'm going to kill it. And that's a easy that's a easy
they,
that's an
yeah,
easy thing.
they
That's an easy
cheapen the
thing for them.
product.
And
Yeah,
that's
they
sad.
cheapen the
That is
product.
sad. There's no way we should have gotten rid of Ford Farm. There's no way we should have gotten rid of Shanjan. There's no way we should have gotten rid of Rockaway, you know.
But
And
the Damon John guy, he has Shark Tank. I think he came up with Shark Tank with Mark
no
Cuban.
football. I mean, Demajan, isn't it Fubu?
Oh yeah, he is Fubu.
Fubu, yeah.
Who
And
did
Fubu is
Fat
still
Farm?
Fat Farm is Russell Simmons.
Oh yeah, it was Russell
Russell
Simmons,
Simmons,
right?
Russell Simmons, Russell.
You are
Fat
so
Farm
right.
was one of the. I mean, that stuff was so high quality,
Yeah.
was
Oh
so
my
nice.
gosh.
It's like, come on,
Yeah.
man, how can you get rid of such a thing, right? It's
And
like
then
so, but
Baby Fat came out of Fat Farm.
oh yeah, okay, with
Kamora.
Kamali
Yeah.
Simmons. All of that is gone, right? It's like we identify, right? I said I grew up with that stuff, you know, and to not and to not see it
Let me
anymore.
find out you still got some Fat Farm jeans. Where they at? Where they
Nah,
at?
nah,
I have to
I
see.
don't, no. It's like I don't have any more, and that's why I said I miss it, right? I miss the Rockaway, I miss the Shanjan, I miss the Fort Farm. Back in the days, man, if we are not rocking those, you were missing out. So I think, to your point, right? The shoe generational wealth should stay with us because you have kids. I mean, and one of the things I admire Jordan for, even though he doesn't own it, right? Nike owns that stuff. His That's that.
No, he does. So
Okay.
there's a differentiation between what he owns and what Nike owns. I think he owns the Jordan brand,
Yeah, the
and Nike
name.
owns. Yeah, he owns the brand and he owns the company. But go on, go on. I'll find it.
The that's what I was trying to say, right? He doesn't. I mean, he might have. I mean, he might own a name, right? He branded it to Nike. But the reason why to me is like Charles Barkley, if you know who he is, always on TNT, basketball analyst. He said the one piece of advice Jordan gave him when he signed his shoe contract with Nike, right? Nike was about to pay him off, right? Nike was
Yeah,
about to, hey man, we'll give you whatever million. And Jordan told him, said, dude, why are you doing that? Take a share in Nike, you
yeah, he
know?
has shares. Yeah,
Yeah,
but they do retain full ownership of the brand. I
yeah,
mean, you watch that movie, and it's just to show you when you don't know your worth. They took the silhouette of this man making a dunk in the air, and they own it. They literally own him.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like, but he has benefited from that though, right? He has benefited hugely.
He
Yeah,
has.
yeah,
But just imagine if he owned it all right himself. Like, and you just like, again, we don't know our worth. And I mean, what Jordan did for the shoe industry, we know other people have shoe deals, but it will never be another Nike Michael Jordan type level. He literally, like, he built the Nike empire.
not only that, he brought basketball shoes to make it,
Yeah.
to make it cool, right? He made basketball shoe cool, where that you can wear it and go to party, not only to play basketball, do everything. It's like up to this day, I know the kids in the hood, whenever Jordan is coming out, right? Or kids everywhere, right? Is that whenever Jordan is coming out, they pay top dollars. Back in the day, like, I mean, full disclosure, I have paid like I think 250 or 300 for Jordan. Okay, for this, I mean, it's like you have some folks pay more than that though, right? Is that, but that's how it's like, once that stuff comes out, it's associated with Jordan. To your point, if he actually own it all, he might be a probably be a mod. He might be on the top 10. He and Elon Musk might be in the same company, but because
Yeah.
but because he's only licensing it to Nike, that's that. But folks, man, we spent the entire segment on
I
dating
know, right?
stuff, but that was trending. And I mean, that was trending all day. But anyways, as we tried with the last few minutes here, though, right? Business and freedom, immigrants driving the economy. This July 4th, what are you doing? What are you doing for July 4th, Miss B?
Oh my gosh, July 4th is gonna be kind of quiet.
Mm,
Well, the actual day will be kind of quiet. Like, it's just gonna be family, fireworks, and a barbecue. But then, I'm really looking forward to the Taste of Minnesota this weekend, Sunday.
okay.
I'm
Hmm.
telling everybody I know to join me. I'm paying for it. It's free. Can join me at the Ludacris
Okay.
concert at the Taste of Minnesota. So don't say Miss B didn't give you anything, right? Come and enjoy free concert on me.
Okay. See the entrepreneur, right? The entrepreneur, the business mogul in our community, right? Telling you, come, free concert, and the food will be on her. Free
Yes,
food,
yes.
food the food, she will buy the food for you. So if you
We
have
will
time
buy
this
the food for
weekend,
you.
yeah. So we have time this weekend. But as we celebrate this week, right? Yesterday we were talking about what does America mean to us. What does America mean to businesses, right? In these times, right? To black businesses, to immigrant businesses. What do you think America means to them, right? As you celebrate this special 249 America 10 249 on Friday. What does it mean to black businesses?
I mean, it's still rightfully so because people know nothing else. The place of the land of opportunity, the American dream. People are still holding on to this, right?
Mhm.
And so, however, the reality is a lot of businesses are closing down. Like, a lot of our community are looking like, like desert, or like they've been deserted. A lot of vacancies. I was just reading today about the office mortgages, commercial office mortgages. You know, we're 5 years or 3 years post pandemic already, and we're not even at the tip of the iceberg when as far as how we're going to feel the impact of how decimated the commercial office space has become. And I say that to say that up there impacts down here because we're micro businesses, we're small businesses, right? If
Hmm.
I'm in a downtown with my little restaurant, or I'm selling my little boutique and there's
Hmm.
nobody downtown anymore, like St. Paul is a desert, it's a
Hmm.
ghost town. I mean, people can't sell those things fast enough to get out of there, right? And then Minneapolis is not the same either. That's hugely impacting me, right? The commercial office space impacts our small businesses because now they don't have that foot traffic. We
Yeah.
rely on people going to the office, going to work every day, because now they're leaving work, they're coming to eat, they're coming to pick up dinner, they're picking up a quick, item. If I'm at home and I've been working all day, I'm going to Instacart groceries. I'm going to do online purchases more likely,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so our businesses are really being impacted, especially when you think we really got a boom in 2020. The stimulus helped, the PPP loans helped, the EIDL loans, they really helped. I mean, you had the most businesses of color got started during the pandemic than ever before.
Hmm.
But the reality is, did we join the market at a wrong time? Did we jump in there at the worst time? I mean, time would tell, but people are struggling.
So are you saying then, as we're about to celebrate freedom, right? 249 years of freedom, black businesses are not free, minority businesses are not free. Is that what you're saying tonight? Is that what you're trying to tell our audience that hey, the
Oh,
freedom that the freedom we're talking about, right? Like these businesses, they are struggling, right? They're having a hard time, you know, making it compared to other businesses, right? Is that they are struggling to turn profits, they are struggling to stay open. So are you saying immigrant black businesses, as we're about to celebrate 249 years, they are not free?
no, nobody, not everybody got 249 years of freedom. Some people just got their freedom the other day.
Okay. So so
So
so
where are
so
you
we are behind,
starting the
so we are
249 years
so
from, the Civil War? What Civil War, and who was fighting who?
so well whatever. Well,
Exactly.
we're talking about let's not get into politics here, right? Let's focus on business here tonight, right? When politics come, we'll get into it. Let's focus on
Watch
business.
watch the movie with Anthony Mackie and Samuel L. Jackson. It's called Bankers.
Okay.
I recommend that movie to everybody. It just
Bankers. Okay.
continues to tell the story of how generational black wealth has just continued to be targeted, right? In a
Like we just said,
nutshell,
like we said about Diddy just now, right? Okay.
there you go.
Okay.
And they were, same political targeting happened when you watch this movie. Um, but like we always do is give each other hope. I mean, especially me. It talks a lot about real estate investment and bank. I wish I had his numerical genius that Anthony Mackie displays in this movie. And so I left watching the movie, yes, heartbroken about the loss of generational wealth. But then there is this hope because I'm heavy in real estate investment. And I'm at a struggling time because the reality, as a landlord, if people are not making money, they can't pay their rent, and then my
Okay.
properties sit vacant, right?
Hmm.
Or I'm covering the bulk of the expensive because I'm getting rent late or not
Hmm.
getting all of it. And so I'm impacted. But yeah, watch the movie. It's called The Bankers with Samuel L. Jackson and Anthony Mackie.
Okay. I'll check that out. I will check it out. Folks, it's Freedom Week, even though Miss B said that everyone started 249 years ago. Some of us were late to the party in terms of freedom. But you
There
know,
were no
um,
Diddy parties then. That's why we didn't know we were free.
you know, there were no free
No.
calls with all white parties and stuff that go for days.
So we
Man,
didn't know we were free.
I'd be wondering like, man, you just like to crack. I'd be wondering like, is that those things used to go for days? Who does that for days? Days? Really? They just go and occupy the Hilton or the Marriott for days. Really? And the hotel allowed that? Man, man, oh man.
Who
Anyway,
knows what happens on the top floor? The
so they
top floor
just
is very nice.
yeah, they just take everything right and say, hey, Diddy is here. No one comes up there. Don't call if we don't call you. Boom, and that's it, right?
So we were in Vegas for Thanksgiving, and we were in a penthouse suite.
Okay.
and we thought we were at the highest floor.
Mm-hmm.
But when we looked outside, there were still like from our room, if you looked
Mm-hmm.
up, you could see 5 more levels above us. Like, man,
Mm-hmm.
and you know the hotels in Vegas are hot.
Yeah, yeah.
So who knows what's happening above you?
What's happening there, right? Yeah. For Vegas, man, that's where they go. Isn't that where Shannon Sharp yeah, yeah, Shannon Sharp
Shay,
got caught?
Club Shay
Yeah.
Shay, Shannon
Yeah,
Sharp.
Club Shay. That's where he and his
Yeah. A lot of them get in trouble in Vegas,
I don't know what they
but
be
they still
looking for
keep going there.
because like and there the prices are high. So sometimes maybe they say, hey, you trying to rip me off or something? For some reason the prices are so high over there. I don't know why. The
Yeah,
very
you
stuff
got
Diddy got the very stuff Diddy got guilty of, the prices are very high in Las Vegas. It's a legal business, but for some reason he used to transport his from state to state. Carry them,
Is it
carry them along.
is it really
Carry them
legal? People
along with
keep
him.
saying that prostitution is legal in Vegas. Is it really legal?
I don't know. I don't know.
It'd be
You could,
legal for you, huh?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's
But
like
no,
I've
like
only
Hugh
visited
Grant.
Vegas, I think what twice, and both times it was business trips.
But Diddy's not the first one to be caught up in prostitution. If we think back to Hugh Grant, the British actor, he was literally caught soliciting a prostitute. I don't know if people
Yeah.
can remember this
But
scandal, but yeah.
was he ever found guilty of that though?
I
No.
mean, he was arrested and then we didn't
Yeah,
hear anything else.
they
They
can
have this
get arrested.
bad,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, Robert Kraft, right? On the day his team was playing the Super Bowl, he was at a massage parlor. Okay, he
Doing
was
what there? Married man.
he was at a massage parlor. So prostitution folks, I mean, it might say is like, I mean, even FBI were tagging that building because there's so many powerful folks going in and out. Seriously, this one little massage parlor, is like
Father
unrecognizable.
God.
You don't even know what's going on there. But private jets parked right there, and like, it's like Rolls Royce coming through there. He said, "Whoa, but what's going on here? Rolls Royce are coming in and out of here." And he got caught that day, and guess what? He walked free. Free.
Yeah.
He was arrested and blah blah blah. Before you know it, the charges were gone. And things like that. So, but anyway, we are at the top of the hour. The
Yes, we
Diddy
are.
the Diddy juice took all the energy for tonight because that's a juicy stuff, right? That's a very very juicy stuff.
It very much is. That's the
Yeah.
tea. Yeah, my husband called me. He's like, "Baby."
So, say, hey, the bomb just dropped. What happened? He was not, it ended is like he wasn't found guilty on the serious ones, but he was found guilty on prostitution. Really?
And why all the
Really?
men keep talking? That's what I hear from all the men. Oh, but the men were just found guilty on prostitution. Hello.
Uh, hey,
Hello. Guilty
hey.
is guilty.
Well, I'm not saying
Guilty is
guilty is not
guilty.
guilty. I'm not saying guilty is not guilty,
Like
but
Bill
but
Clinton.
be
I did not
but
have any sexual relations with that woman.
exactly. But to be found guilty of prostitution, come on, man. Give me a break. You should have let the man walk, honestly. But the jury just wanted to stop him with something. Yeah, you should have let him walk. You know, you should have let him walk. I'm just saying, you should have nailed him on the serious ones, but it's like that stuff that he got guilty of. I'm telling you, okay. I'm
Guilty
telling
is
you,
guilty.
okay,
Like
okay.
Jonathan Majors was found guilty on misdemeanor aggressive assault or something like that. Very minor charges. Messed
Yeah,
up his
but he's not.
whole
I
acting
mean,
career.
okay, okay. Well, anyway, folks, that's it
Guilty
for
is
this
guilty.
That's it for this segment. Diddy is guilty of prostitution. Diddy is guilty of prostitution tonight, and he was denied bail. So it's Freedom Week, so his freedom is not coming anytime soon. He's going to get sentenced. They said what in the next 3 months. So, but we celebrating July 4th. We hope you have a nice celebration. Miss B, what is your parting words? This is our last show for the night. Actually, we'll give folks, except when Wayne, maybe our girl Wayne might do the social segment tomorrow, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this is our last show for the night. So as we wrap up the week, Miss B, What it is? What's the message? Folks celebrating Independence Day, the barbecues, the whatever. What's the message you want to do with folks tonight?
Be safe.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't look good and doesn't smell good, don't go there.
Yeah,
Stay away from it.
yeah.
And if you have time and you can catch a movie on Netflix, go see The Bankers with
The
Samuel L.
banker.
Jackson and Anthony Mackie. Yeah.
Okay. And folks, if you are, I mean, to echo Miss B, though, she's celebrate safe. I know this time of the year, especially folks in Chicago, man, there'll be so many shooting be over there, man. Don't do that, man. Avoid that, right? Also, fireworks, treat that carefully. I know fireworks is illegal now in a lot of places, right? Is that if you want to go see fireworks, go see it, man. But if you buy it, I mean, be careful, right? Before you harm someone or you harm yourself. But it's been an eventful week. You know, my co-host Miss B and myself, it's been an eventful week. So thank you so much, folks. We will see you guys back here. Happy July 4th to every one of you. We'll see you all back here. What next week? Next week Monday.
Next week, yeah.
Next week Monday. Next week Monday. Guess what? We want to talk about hookah. Do you smoke hookah, Miss B?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know how hookah got
You
how
see
hookah
this
is.
skin?
Huh?
You see this
Okay.
skin?
I don't know how hookah have exploded in the entertainment industry, right? It's like everywhere you go, folks are smoking hookah. I
I
want to
would
know,
love
right?
to own a hookah spot.
Oh, really? So
Yeah, I went to Atlanta. They
mhm.
have nice hookah spots.
So next week Monday we're going to be discussing hookah. How did that whole thing come about? How did our community pick it up? Everywhere you go, how?
Seriously, and oh my gosh, it's a art. It's an art
Okay,
and a science to this hookah
okay.
thing. But
So
we've
come,
talked enough tonight.
yeah.
We'll
So
see
come
on
prepare.
Monday
Come
night. We'll
prepare
continue
Monday.
then.
Okay, thank you, folks. Good night.